nice?
And of course he does. He's been here
100%.
Been here a couple of months, and so we just heard from Boomer Esiason, and of course you can't call during prime time when actually people are listening, so...
You put me in the same category as you when you throw him the beach ball questions.
Well, because I don't pretend to be a big sports...
Why did I give him any softball questions? He answered all the questions yesterday.
Why didn't you ask him to go out on a date yesterday? I heard the interview.
You talk about softball, you ought to change the show to Slurpee in the morning instead of Imus in the morning.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning.
First of all, Greenfield, you know what? This morning he went away with a hickey on each side of his teeth.
Imus in the morning.
Almost 25 after 7 here in New York.
Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
Small manufacturer.
Imus in the morning. On the radio, you can't say on the radio. Imus in the morning.
7:45, 15 to 8. Imus in the morning. Mike Green. Just tell Mel for me. Yuck.
Give me a bite.
But they have a talk show on CNBC, and they interview politicians and celebrities, not celebrities, but people involved in politics and stuff.
Yes.
But they're hip and it's funny. And
Yeah.
Mary Matlin's gorgeous, and Jane Wallace is not bad either.
No,
but they're both funny and good. You should watch it. Well, you wouldn't understand what they were talking about.
I'm working on things. I don't have time to watch.
Hi, man. The first time I did not take the Lord's name in vain.
That's a good word, Gardy.
Well, it's stupid because of God. I'm trying to keep the effing program straightened out. Do you mind? Not at all. Okay, well, what the hell? Why? Well, don't scream at me then. What did he get in Pat Riley's face about? Answer the question in 10 seconds.
He told Pat Riley that it was a bunch of crap, the game, with the fact that they were getting killed. But he elaborated a little bit better than I am.
Okay, fine. Well, we'll have to go.
Imus in the morning.
We got Miko at the top, other things, other side, so don't go away.
Mike and the Mad Dog. Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
What's that tell you about his recruiting ability? He has to get him to be great for the school they got him. Yep.
Mike and the Mad Dog. Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
Lee Miles. He was by winning. Absolutely. 4 o'clock. We'll play that game on the other side, so don't go away.
Mike and the Mad Dog. Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
Nora Hayden, the woman who wrote the book, How to Satisfy a Woman Every Time and Have Her Beg for More. Put the microphone in front of you. Pretend that it's singing.
Do you love me?
I
Tell
do.
the truth.
Yes.
I love you too.
Yeah.
You're very attractive. You're very sweet. You're a nice person.
I am very
And you're
attractive.
very honest. And when you talked about my book before, you were very sincere when you said that it gave you the first orgasm that you gave to a woman.
Well, it doesn't work.
It does work. It works every single time.
Anyway.
That's why the woman was so in love with you. Because you gave her the first pleasure she'd ever had.
And cash.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning on the Fan.
Have you ever faked an orgasm?
Yes.
You deceitful tramp.
Well, I'm sorry. It's out of sensitivity. That's why women fake it. It has nothing to do.
Absolutely.
Because a woman cares for the guy and doesn't want to hurt his feelings.
Fake it, don't fake it. Who cares? As long as I have one. Pass the cigarettes and get out of the bed.
In the morning on the Fan. Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
WFAN 2020 Sports.
Good afternoon at 4 o'clock. This is John Minko, and he said, well, you didn't lose. You had a good night. No matter what the circumstances. Back on the other side of 5. We'll come back too, so don't go away.
Mike and the Mad Dog. Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
This week.
Clock. Enjoy your Thursday on the Fan. Howie coming after Minko. After Johnny's update, so stick for Howie, Sports Radio 66.
Mike and the Mad Dog. Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
Guys are mostly clear, and that's what's happening. This is John Minko with 2020 Sports on WFAN, the home of the NFL playoffs.
Sports Radio 66, WFAN, New York.
6:05, and what do you say? Howie Rose with you on the fan till 9 o'clock tonight, which gives us plenty of time to yak it up, including your phone calls at 718-937-6666. And we're going to do plenty of that on what for me is something of a special night here in New York, because we got the news earlier. 7 o'clock, Bill Daughtry's got the update, then we get back to the phones at 718-937-6666. Hi, Central Park. And that's what's happening. I'm Bill Daughtry with 2020 Sports on WFAN, the radio home of Howie Rose and the home of the NFL playoffs. Whitehacker. Well, personally, I think that's the one that put him over the top. That brilliant description of John Schweibecker. Schweibecker is tall and he is thin. It just doesn't get any better than that. I mean, you got to understand, if you grow up listening to the same voice for 30-odd years, and out of the blue he talks about you, I mean, it's got to be is one of these people who looks at a glass and sees it as half full rather than half empty. And when you live in this town, you got to put up with all the BS you do from any number of different places. That's quite an attribute. That's what made Murph and continues to make him so special. We'll get back after the update. Sports Radio 66, the fan, WFAN. This week, Central Park, under partly cloudy skies, we've got a reading of 12 degrees. And that's what's happening. I'm Bill Daughtry with 2020 Sports on WFAN, the home of the NFL playoffs. They tied the... That's part of a conversation that Bob Murphy and I had.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning on the fan.
Russ Salzberg, sir. Good morning, Russ.
Good morning.
I am.
Good. What are you telling that kid he has to wait till almost 11 o'clock to watch me?
That's when you're on.
All right, High Pockets.
You know what I like about Channel 9 is they not only let that woman come in and clean up the studio, but they'll let her anchor the newscast.
Very classy there, Ivan. Flip my copyhead.
In the morning on the fan, Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
All right, Russ Baxter, that was a great interview. I'll tell you, we learned so much during that...
Mr. Lamar. Thank you very much, Your Eminence.
Who did your makeup? The amazing Kreskin, be Jesus?
No, I didn't have any makeup.
They get the monkey cam. When you go on Letterman, they should use the mummy cam, be Jesus. You dusty cadaver, you.
That will be
The
fun.
winning numbers in the New York State Lottery is as follows.
I thought we were doing the Powerball numbers.
Just say this, Mr. Lamar.
Yeah.
Only TV show I'd like to see you on is Unsolved Mysteries, be Jesus. The daily number.
All right.
895.
Okay.
You growing a mustache, Mr. Lamar?
No.
But do me a favor and shave your nostril hairs, be Jesus. You're making me sick.
Come on here.
The win for number. Let me say this about Lorena Bobbitt, the manicurist, Mr. Lamar.
Well, how about the win 4 number?
She spent more time buffing poor John's Beacho and less time playing Zorro, but she might be a happy couple today.
That will be fine.
The win for number. 0775.
Yes.
Speaking of weenies, Mr. Lamar. Larry King did everything but perform fellatio on Slick Willie on TV last night.
I heard it was sickening.
Well, maybe they did it out in the car for nostalgia's sake, Jesus.
Fine.
I had a wrinkle for every time Clinton told a lie, Jesus. I looked like you, Mr. Lamar.
You leave my president alone.
The pig-time numbers is as follows. 2, 5, 11, 17, 18, 25, 27, 30, 34, 30, 37, 42, 45, 49, 62, 64, 66, 68, 69, 71, 77. The big jackpot this Wednesday night, Mr. Lamar.
What will it be?
Be several $1 million, Mr. Lamar.
$7 million?
Several $1 million, Mr. Lamar. Turn up the miracle here, be Jesus.
Well, don't you know how much it's going to be?
Which doesn't belong and why?
Oh, okay, which doesn't belong to why?
Which doesn't belong and why?
All right.
A, a shark.
A what?
A shark, be Jesus.
A shark?
B, a cockroach.
A cockroach?
C, I'm missing the mark. Which
Well,
doesn't belong and why?
Come on. Obviously, I miss it in the morning.
Wrong, you two-legged file, you. Well, all three are feared and detested.
Yeah.
And have been around since the dinosaur. The answer is A. The shark doesn't belong because unlike the other two, the shark doesn't have insect-sized genitals. Let me get me polygraph on here.
Lenny Bruce as Billy Graham.
3rd and 10, Clark's.
It's on the Imus in the Morning program.
There you are.
The first time as the President of the United States. The President. Good morning, Mr. President.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm all right.
Let me ask you something. What the hell is going on down there in that White House? What do you mean you've lost your focus?
I haven't lost my focus. You've just been seeing me through the foggy lens of television instead of the direct way of radio.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the Morning on The Fan.
I know, Mr. President, you're coming to New York this afternoon. Do you want to go to the Knicks game tonight, or?
You're betraying your all sports radio. I know you're trying to convince your listeners that you know something about this. Well, I'm trying to get your approval ratings up on sports. I know that.
In the morning on the Fan, Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
He went with Weiss down in Tampa. He goes to might as well go to a team that's so low, 6, 7 wins. The coach in the NFL. Coming back.
Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
You're one of the very fine sports writers in this country, and he writes for the Boston Globe, and he provides football commentary and analysis and inside stuff on NBC television. Will McDonough. Good morning, Mr. McDonough.
Good morning, Imus. You didn't drop enough big names here in 30 seconds.
Oh, shut up. Leave me alone. One of the good things about Kansas City going all the way is that we get to see Joe Montana's wife more. So, yeah,
well, she's about in your range. She's about 29 or 30, right?
You know, I just absolutely hate you.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the Morning on The Fan.
When you get to our age, you lose your hearing.
Yeah.
So if you're with a woman who's the same age, and you go to a show or watch TV, you don't know what anybody's saying. You sound like Abbott and Costello. At least you got the one with 30 years old. You can ask her, hey, what did they just say? And she gives you the answer.
In the morning on the Fan, Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
This is Bob Usler with 2020 Sports on WFAN, the home of the NFL playoffs.
Sports Radio 66, WFAN, New York.
11:06 on the Fan, and good evening, everyone. Ed Coleman back with you up until midnight tonight on this Friday. Well, it was game number 36 of the season for the Knicks, and you don't get to see many good ones. Got to see a great one tonight. Knicks come out of the short end of a 106-103 decision to the Orlando Magic, but this is a lot of fun to watch. Maybe not fun to watch the Knicks' execution down the stretch.
The team in different directions. One guy will come out publicly and say, I think we should draft so-and-so, and another owner will say, well, no, we're going to get this guy. And I think there needs to be more unanimity amongst the owners, and maybe until they actually sell that team, the team isn't going to do well. I don't know. It's a very long, complicated process and something that doesn't lend itself to easy answers. We'll be right back.
Sports Radio 66, The Fan, WFAN.
2020 Sports on WFAN, the home for the NFL playoffs.
Sports Radio 66, The Fan, WFAN, New York.
And we're back on the Fan final hour. Richard Neer, Russo will be here. The dog will be here at 10 o'clock this morning, take you through, and then he hops a plane down to Atlanta. Mike and the Mad Dog from the Super Bowl all week long, and we'll know by Monday who's going to be in the Super Bowl, whether it will be the 49ers or the Cowboys versus Buffalo or the Chiefs. And both games tomorrow, I mean, these are really the better games, when
That's what's happening. This is John Minko with 2020 Sports on WFAN, the home for the NFL playoffs. Everybody, how are you today? Christopher Russo on the Fan on a Saturday morning in New York. Good to have you aboard. Busy day indeed. 22nd day of January 1994. You got all the football, both games tomorrow, of course, in the AFC NFC Championship games. You get the NHL All-Star game and all sorts of things going on at Madison Square Garden, and a lot of basketball from last night. A couple of decent games. Knickerbockers, Magic, and the Nets and Hawks. Good luck for the What's that on the fan? Ed Coleman.
On the fan, it would be nice to see a power play and see, that is a big, big part of the game. Maybe a shorthanded goal. Well, what's that? Well, there are people around the country, listen, who don't understand the game. It would be nice to see those facets of the game, but nobody blows a whistle. You're not going to get that. Vince DeLisi, right here, 7 o'clock. I'm Ed Coleman, back with you on the other side.
Sports Radio 66. The Fan, WFAN.
And that's what's happening. I'm Vince DeLisi with 2020 Sports on WFAN, the home of the NFL playoffs.
Sports Radio 66. The Fan, WFAN, New York.
All right, welcome back. 7:04 on the Fan, and we'll take you to St. John's in Miami, down in Miami, where it's about 60 or so. Hey, twice as good as here. Joe Massey, Susan Wallman will have the call of the game. Ed Coleman with you, and we'll hit the phones at 937-6666. Sonny in Jersey City, nervously pacing his living room, nervously.
What a joke you guys are, especially you, Mike Boyme.
You're lucky you're here today.
Good morning, everybody. How are you today?
You should be all pumped up and thankful you're here. It's the first time you've ever been on a #1 ranked weekend show.
Unbelievable. You think Cohen could at least say Mike and the Mad Dog live in Atlanta?
He did say that, but he said NFL now first.
He didn't. He just said with my friend Sessa.
I know. He says he used to be a regular opener. Cohen said, listen, I don't care if you guys go down there on Sunday. I'm getting 2 more shows out of this year. The hell with Mike and the Mad Dog. I have nothing to do with that.
And you think he could at least say Mike Francesa with Christopher Russo? It's almost like I feel like,
and his faithful companion, Christopher Russo.
I feel like Trixie with Norton. Think I can at least get a loose semi-billing here?
Well, we're all set up here in Atlanta. We're reasonably set up here in Atlanta. We're doing very well.
And you deserve some credit for this
don't worry about that.
It's the NFL Now on the Fan.
There going to be a single on there that will outdo She Loves You? No. Then leave it the alone.
Fine.
The 60s are over, and I'd prefer my mop tops without colostomy bags. Man, there's nothing worse than someone who doesn't know it's time to just walk away and let the body of work speak for itself. Somebody who doesn't know that to continue just proves the law of diminishing returns. You know what I mean, I-Man?
Dearly love you. The 2 Hall of Fame announcers will reportedly move on to the Fox network together.
Let me tell you now some of the late headline stories we're following in the Imus and Washington Network newsroom.
I'm David Brinkley, aging patriarch of television news in general. Joined as always by our regulars, Walter Cronkite, Rush Limbaugh, and in our bureau in New York, raving correspondent Don Imus, host of his own highly successful syndicated radio program. Now, some news. Here in Washington, despite the clean bill of health he received in his first annual physical exam as chief executive, President Clinton had to undergo what doctors described as emergency lower lip surgery after the combination of the Martin Luther King birthday and his trip to earthquake-stricken Southern California just proved too much for him. The president, speaking through heavy bandages, did manage to talk with a few hand-picked reporters a short time ago at Bethesda Naval Hospital, where the operation took place, and Imus and Washington microphones were there.
Thank you very much. The problem is simple. Between Dr. King's birthday and my journey to the West Coast to express my deep concern, I bit my lower lip until I gnawed it off. And now, fortunately, David Gergen was right behind me when it happened, as he normally is, with his nose you-know-where, and he found it. Thankfully, the same doctor who sewed John Bobbitt's penis back on was available to reattach my lip. Now, there's some damned irony there, ain't there? You bet. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Doctors say the president should regain full use of his lower lip in time for a soon-to-be-scheduled news conference at which he will express his gratitude to the American public for the recent bump in his popularity ratings.
In other news, a mystery solved in Texas, where scientists say they have traced the source of an incessant, unnerving, high-pitched whine in the city of Austin to the home of Bobby Ray Inman, the Napoleon-hatted naval retread the Clinton administration has been seeking as its next defense secretary. The spokesman for the Justice Department says members of the ATF are already on the way.
Meantime, back at the White House, spokesperson George Stephanopoulos, ignoring D.D. Myers, as is so often the case, going to be difficult to replace.
Bobby had that certain indefinable something, that je ne sais quoi, with that cranium that looked like a baby being pulled out of a turkey baster, the tombstone teeth, all that. Homely cute, you know. He and I just hit it off fabulously. Oh, well, such is life, n'est-ce pas?
The White House, meantime, is said to be scrutinizing lists of all the nation's state fair carnival sideshows in its search to come up with a suitable Inman replacement who will fit the complexion of the rest of the Clinton cabinet as well as Inman would have.
Diddle-it, diddle-it, diddle-it. Another cabinet officer in the headlines today, Labor Secretary Robert Reich, who has announced that the administration is going to dramatically step up enforcement of workplace safety laws to reduce the number of people injured and killed on the job.
Oh, good.
Reich is himself a victim of such a mishap, having once been nearly 6 feet 6 inches tall before he was crushed beneath the weight of his own ego a few years back, mashing him to his present 3 foot 8 inch height.
And finally, there is some good news at last for talented toe looper Tanya Harding in what has otherwise been a most difficult period for her. Though certainly nearly all the Olympic riches she once imagined for herself will never happen, not all endorsement money is gone, it appears, as her publicist says that Miss Harding has just signed a contract to become a celebrity spokesperson for the club.
Oh, I get it. So we have Bill Clinton on. What happened was he came on here and he was great, and I happened to like Bill Clinton. And then he was on 3 more times, and so I couldn't have been more supportive of him. But we have been currently getting jerked around by these butt boys at the White House. And here to explain it is Paul Begala. Good morning, Mr. Begala.
I prefer butt man.
Well, no, I'm not calling.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning.
I understand you had some charges aired on the program this morning from Senator Dole.
He simply was talking about this whitewater thing, which, by the way, is a bunch of bogus jive, it sounds to me like anyway, but at least it ought to be cleared up.
But this is how Washington works. You get a Washington Post editorial that says there's no credible evidence that the Clintons did anything wrong. So let's investigate them.
Sports Radio 66 WFAN.
2020 Sports.
It's Phoebe and Reed.
Imus in the morning.
Well, 3:17 till 8 o'clock now.
Enjoy your Monday on the Fan. Adios.
Mike and the Mad Dog. Sports Radio 66 WFAN.
Mike and the
The home of Super Bowl 28.
Sports Radio 66 WFAN. New York.
And good evening. Got a marathon planned for you tonight until midnight. Richard Neer in for Howie Rose, taking you right through for 6 long hours. And we've got some terrific guests lined up. Mike Nolan will be joining us a little bit later on this hour. He, of course, is the Giant defensive coordinator. Giants played to Buffalo, played him tough, but lost earlier in the season, and lost a couple of games to Dallas. So Mike Nolan is very familiar with the combatants in this year's Super Bowl, and we'll have some things to say about
20 Sports on WFAN, the home of Super Bowl 28. And we're back. Richard Neer in for Howie on Sports Radio 66 WFAN, taking you through till midnight tonight. A 6-hour marathon. First hour went pretty good. We'll take your phone calls, 718-937-6666. Later on in the program, Allie Sherman, former coach of the New York Giants, joins us. Allie, of course, has been on ESPN, all sorts of places, talking football as an expert, prognosticator, and such. And Allie makes a whole lot of sense of
He'll be joining us in a little bit. We'll be talking some football with him. We'll also be popping up some other surprise guests and your phone calls, too. You stay tuned to Vince, and we'll be right back.
Sports Radio 66 The Fan WFAN.
Lacey with 2020 Sports on WFAN, the home of Super Bowl 28.
Sports Radio 66 The Fan WFAN. New York.
Well, for those who were listening last hour when I told that Allie Sherman story and the embarrassing scene with Allie Sherman, my friend Ken Dashow called me and said, who was there at the time, he said, the guy who took you aside and was angry was Dick Young. Remember Dick Young, the combative sports writer for the Post and the Daily News? I had forgotten. I thought that Dick Young was dead at that time, but Dick Young, no, in 1987, I remember having him on that show. 6666 is our telephone number. We've been promising you Allie Sherman all night, and in just a few minutes, we will have Allie Sherman for you. Hank Stram will be joining us later on to talk some football. It's football kind of night here on The Fan, so you hang in there. We'll also get into some other sports, too. 718-937-6666.
Sports Radio 66. The Fan, WFAN.
Vince DeLisi with 2020 Sports on WFAN, the home of Super Bowl 28.
Sports Radio 66. The Fan, WFAN, New York.
Back with you on The Fan, Sports Radio 66, WFAN. Richard Neer with you, and it's my pleasure to introduce to you, as we've been promoting all night, Mr. Allie Sherman, former coach of the Giants. First 3 years, led them to
Delbert. How come some guys... Good morning.
Let me cleanse your spiritual wound with these words. O woman, you are the sponge of bitterness that dries up our tears. Squeeze yourself unto us so we may cry again. You give us milk for strength at birth, then milk our strength until our death. Your bosom offers comfort, but they are falsies. My brother, these are tough times to be a man. Not only have our women emasculated us with their mocking words, now they have taken up weapons to physically castrate us, to remove from us our manly members. And now that his woman has been acquitted of this savagery, we weep for John Bobbitt, for he is our brother. We weep for him and wince for ourselves. This calls to mind a haiku I once wrote. Dicky, dicky bird flies through my car window, singing soprano. This episode is the manifestation of the jealousy of woman for man, the ultimate penis envy.
Right.
And yet, though she severs the man from his entity, she does not keep the prize for herself.
No.
She does not place it upon herself. She hurls it into a field. I have a poem from my latest book, There Where the Dickweeds Grow. O woman, you ask for my seed that your womb may be a garden, and yet you sever my branch and plant it in a field. But my root is rootless. It can find no purchase in your dusky soil. Give me back my rake, for you are nothing but a hoe yourself. The woman's coveting of what is given man goes back to the times of our ancestors. As a matter of fact, there is a Sri Lankan fable that I have translated from the ancient Sanskrit. A woman went to the elders of the clan and said, I want to hunt with the warriors instead of staying back in the village with the children. And the elders admonished, only if you prove yourself proficient with the spear. But I have no spear, she cried. Exactly, said the elders. Now shut up and go cook something. Our brother's wife, Lorena, is now free to harvest penises at will. And we are helpless, as her sisters now feel. They too are free to gather the fruit from our fruit of the looms. We must take care to fill their holes with seed, or be doffed of our dongs. Let us give each other strength. Let us place our penises together in a ritual fortifying of our manhood. Place your penis against my loincloth, my brother, and gain the unifying spiritual power of your brethren. Press it. Oh, that's quite a strong one you've got there already.
Robert Bly, the author of Iron John, another sappy. Yeah. Kind of a guy goes on a Robert Bly retreat. Is Mark Russell. Good morning, Mr. Russell.
Oh, my goodness, Mr. Russell. Well, I don't do much radio. I do National Public Radio, with the pace is a little slower, where they will sneak in a Chopin violin nocturne between the news and the weather.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning.
I'm a little nervous because I came back from Los Angeles and I went through the second one, and they have their own language out there. They say, well, I was on the 405 for the 4.6. Well, I was on the I-10 for the 5.0. And seismograph needle, that wildly fluctuating seismograph needle, and it looked like Bill Clinton's polygraph.
You know, he sounds like Jack Benny a little bit, doesn't he? Pattern and everything. Here's a... Hey, Roger.
Hey, man. That Nora Hayden, she's on something, isn't she?
Yes, he is.
Well, can I have some?
No, you may not.
How to satisfy a woman and make her beg for more.
Yeah.
I'm going to write a book.
Yeah.
How to beg for a woman. Hey, guess what?
What?
I was in the earthquake, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you talking about rock and roll. I was sitting in the living room, right? And I just taking this big bong hit off of this Maui Wowie.
Yeah.
And I got a chub like I normally do when I get stoned. So being there was no female accompaniment available, I started to spank the monkey.
Yes.
And the earth moved. And I thought, damn, either this dope is better than I thought, or I'm better than all the girls said I was. Hey, why is John Bobbitt like the Beatles?
I don't know.
They've both been one short, but now they're back together again. Hey, man, this could be an opportunity for me.
Yeah.
I am the walrus. Give me enough mescaline, I'll be the damn rhino, too.
Roger talking about Paul McCartney, George Harrison, and Ringo Starr going back in the studio for some obscure reason.
Really?
Hey, did you hear what happened to Tom Brokaw?
No.
He was doing a story about the Tanya Harding deal last night.
Yeah.
And when they got to Jeff Gilluli's name, they had to rush him to the hospital. They say he's resting comfortably.
If you can name 3 NASCAR stock car drivers. I'll name one for you, Dale Earnhardt. Can you name 2 more?
No.
I'll give you another name. Kyle Petty. This is for $1 million, Eileen. You have 5 seconds.
$1 million, baby.
You just lost, yeah, that's exactly right. You just lost him. Huh?
Richard?
No, it's too late now. You lost him.
Why?
Because you was too late. You had 5 seconds. It's like on Jeopardy. You don't get a whole day.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning.
Liked old Dale Earnhardt, didn't you? Good guy. Charles asked him, are you afraid when you're driving 200 miles an hour?
I'm always,
He looked at Charles like, you sissy.
Well, how, I wanted to know.
Are you afraid when you drive fast, Mr. Earnhardt? Huh?
Be careful in Times Square today. Don't hurt yourself.
In the morning. Sports Radio 66 WFAN.
Imus in Washington's senior political analyst, Richard M. Nixon.
Yes, and thank you very much as always. Imus in the morning. I've been listening with rapt attention here lately, Ivo. A couple of things.
Okay.
I heard you state the other day that you believe you share certain qualities with the Christian Messiah.
Yes.
Quite a conclusion. You said in response to questions about your libido that you have lived a near monk-like existence.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm mistaken in this regard, but weren't you routinely referred to as the conquistador of the prize closet during your tenure at WNBC?
No.
Oh, you're trying to boast? The only Christ-like quality I'd like to see associated with you is somebody stick you in a hole and roll a rock in front of it. Just kidding, just kidding. Actually, it's clear for anybody to see something's been agreeing with you lately, Dallo, and I believe I know what it is.
Really?
Now, although you pretty much clamped a gag order on your staff vis-a-vis this issue, still I'd like to congratulate your newfound contentment with a tune that could become your song. You know, for you and the, shall I say, object of your endearment? Okay. Oh, the itsy-bitsy spider climbed up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out.
That'll be enough.
She should respond to that, don't you think?
No.
Just a joke, J.D.
Well.
Take a drink of water and put your f***ing eyes back in your head.
Shut up.
Anyway, too much to address today, but let's get in at least a couple of them.
All right.
Issue 1. Bobby Ray, Billie Jean, Carl Sue Inman. Or, yes, Admiral, they really are talking about you in the Redskins huddle. Jesus, what the hell is up with this move, huh? Well, I understand, by the way, that Admiral Inman has widened the list of those conspiring against him to include not only Bill Sapphire and Bob Dole, but also Jeff Gillooly, Jeff Hostetler, Jeff Greenfield, Janet Reno, the guy who invented Beano, Art Buchwald, Tony Kushner, and Pete Hamill. Honest to God, Clinton Biden doesn't need a Secretary of Defense. He needs a Secretary of Vetting. A cabinet-level position to check out cabinet-level candidates. Robert Reich, Alice Rivlin, Henry Cisneros, Janet Reno. Who's signing off on these people? Stephen King? What do we do? Hijack the bus from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and say, okay, now you're a cabinet? And Inman says he couldn't deal with William Sapphire. What the hell would he do with Vladimir Zhirinovsky? Well, ye gods, Admiral, just go drive another couple of corporations into bankruptcy and get out. And have a sandwich. You look like somebody who got left off Schindler's List, if you know what I'm saying. What a f***ing mess. Issue 2, speaking of conspiracies, a group I'm surprised Inman hasn't identified yet as being out to get him. The Tanya Harding Gang. Is this by any chance Freak Week? From Bobby Ray Inman, who looks as though he could be Scott Hamilton's dad with a light bulb sticking out of a shirt collar head thing, to Sean Eckhart, the 350-pound carrot. What do you suppose we might find clinging to Sean's family tree, huh? Well, a learning-challenged rhinoceros and Betty from L.A. Law? Now, I do remember where I've seen Miss Harding before, though, Ivan. Really? You know the Coca-Cola commercials that feature skating polar bears? Yeah. I believe she's the fourth one from the right. What a load. And final subject, very quickly because I'm out of time, the long-awaited Lawrence Welch report on Iran-Contra, Reagan, Bush, and the rest. 7 years and 40 million boondoggle dollars later. 40 million taxpayer boondoggle dollars. And Prosecutor Walsh fires his final shot. A resounding, withering, ear-splitting blank. Well, it's just too bad that his old man didn't, Donna. And that's the world through a dick's eye, J.D.
Coincidentally.
The all-seeing orb of Dick Nixon. A man who was similarly victimized by a bunch of bastards when he himself was the president of the United States.
Well, a redneck nerd in a bowling shirt was a guzzling Lone Star beer, talking religion and politics for all the world to hear. They ought to send you back to Russia, boy, or New York City one. You just want to doodle a Christian girl and you kill God's only son.
Imus in the morning.
That is a situation in Houston at that moment. Jenkins here on the Imus in the Morning program. That's a good idea. Just fade him right out there, Lou. 7:43, 17 till 8 o'clock.
Not too many years ago, when dreams weren't coming true, I'd reach for inspiration. Sometimes it would be you. I'd hear you on the radio. I sure didn't like your sound. It's good to know there's still a few old country boys around.
I love that.
Imus in the morning.
I like thinking that.
Mike and the Mad Dog. Sports Radio 666. WFAN.
Mike and the Mad Dog. I'm happy to know that you're still alive. I hear you have a young companion.
I just don't think we need to get into this, do we?
I just only had one question.
Yes.
Is she really interested in you, or is she a museum curator? If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the Morning on the Fan.
Good morning, Sabrina.
Good morning, Imus.
How you doing, baby?
I have some advice for you.
Regarding what?
Well, Dr. Georgia Whitkin is a very attractive woman.
Yeah.
So I think that she's a woman for you. I'm sorry to say this, but she's more your age.
What does age got to do with it?
Well, I think you're more compatible with somebody your own age.
Helen Hayes passed away.
In the morning on the Fan. Sports Radio 66. WFAN.
Cloudy. That's what's happening. This is John Minko with 2020 Sports on WFAN, the home for Super Bowl 28.
Sports Radio 66. WFAN.
Well, no little feat music this time around, but Ed Coleman, Ian Eagle here with you on the Fan down in Atlanta, side of Super Bowl 28 as we take you to Knicks basketball tonight. Susan will pick it up about 7 o'clock or so and take you half hour right up until pregame of the Knicks. And the Phoenix Suns TNT game tonight, a little bit late start at the Garden, 8 o'clock. Ian,
Two Syracuse guys manning the mics together.
Incredible. Deja vu, my friend. The one matchup you did not want. There was one. Of all...
You will hear Peter on the fan. Good job, guys, and we're back tomorrow. Stay tuned. Susan Waldman coming up. And the Knicks and the Suns a little bit later from the Garden. We'll see you.
Sports Radio 66. The Fan, WFAN.
Hey, Bennett, check it out. Michael Jackson's on the news.
Cool. What happened? He touch another little boy on the joint?
No, but I think he wants to pay a lot of money for somebody to do it again.
You bobwipe. He just settled out of court.
What?
He's gonna give this kid like $80 million not to tell anybody.
Not to tell anybody what?
That, he touched him on the joint.
Cool.
Wait a minute. I have an idea. Give me the phone.
Yeah. Order a pizza.
Hello? Could I have information, please? I need the number of Michael Jackson. He touched me and Beavis on the joint, and we want like $80 million to keep quiet about it.
He didn't touch me.
Shut up, Beavis. You're ruining it.
Oh, yeah. He touched me too.
Yeah, and he made us kiss his monkey.
Yeah. And he made us spank his monkey too.
Yeah, and we saw him do sick things to that little dude from Home Alone.
Yeah.
Anything else? Yeah. Do you have Prince Albert in the can? Well, tell him to flush when he's through.
Hey, Butthead, call Burger World and order 20,000 hamburgers. I once heard this radio dude do that, and he got a lot of free hamburgers.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, here he is on a phone now. Dan Jenkins. Good morning, Mr. Jenkins.
Good morning, Don. I'm happy to know that you're still alive. I hear you have a young companion.
I just don't think we need to get into this, do we?
I just only had one question.
Yes?
Is she registered in you, or is she a museum curator?
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning.
Good morning, Sabrina.
Good morning, Imus.
How you doing, baby?
I have some advice for you.
Regarding what?
Well, Dr. Georgia Whitkin is a very attractive woman.
Yeah.
So I think that she's a woman for you. I'm sorry to say this, but she's more your age.
What does age got to do with it?
Well, I think you're more compatible with somebody your own age.
Helen Hayes passed away.
In the morning. Sports Radio 66. WFAN.
Hey, do this. Check it out. It's the Super Bowl.
Who's playing?
I don't know. Some team with a star on their helmet, and another team with a dog or something.
Is that how you tell them apart, the helmets?
Yeah. The big steroid-eating star dudes are from Dallas, California, and the other dudes really suck.
Yeah.
Their suckness knows no bounds.
Well, how come they're in the Super Bowl then?
I guess because they need somebody to lose. Because, they really suck.
Where's the cheerleaders?
Yeah, where's those chicks with the little Roy Rogers hats?
Look, there they are.
Whoa, those babes are hot.
I wish I was a big steroid-eating football dude, so cheerleader chicks would let me look up their skirts so I could see their line of scrimmage.
Yeah, huddle up. Down and out of my goalpost, baby.
Fine. Do it again. Harder.
Hey, cowgirl cheerleader chicks. Check it out. Beavis and me have helmets, too.
Yeah. In the morning.
6:38. To the Union. Bowler's initial excursion into that forum, and very impressive, mind you. And I must confess, I was hoping that they loaded the wrong tape in the teleprompter again, and had accidentally booted up, I don't know, maybe the missing Vincent Foster Whitewater file or something? Just as a gag. Let him get a couple of paragraphs in, and then throw a camera on Hillary real quick. And all you see is a pair of shoes sticking up in the air. But no such good fortune. No. Instead, all the usual elements, crime, health reform, entitlements, and so forth. I tell you, I'm sick of all of it, J.D. Solve all three. Send it to Birkin or welfare recipient to Dr. Kevorkian. I was not encouraged by Mr. Clinton's remarks regarding crime, by the way. The matter that is, by any measurement, the #1 worry of our nation. And my own issue 1 today. The populace is justifiably outraged. An element of this society has lost all regard for even the most fundamental precepts of civilized behavior. And Brady Bill band-aids on a problem this deeply ingrained simply will not work. That's why I'm ready to launch a grassroots campaign for what I am titling the Nixon SOS Bill.
As in, save our ship?
As in shoot on sight. Enough already with our namby-pamby, Alan Alda, ACLU embrace of urban thug derelicts.
Yeah.
In fact, I'd be in favor of that fellow in Manhattan in recent weeks who's been shoving his shit into people who bumped into him on the sidewalk. Curbside Cordine, man. The best way to free up prison space is to fill up morgue space, as far as I'm concerned. You start offing people for everything, down to and including jaywalking, and see what happens to our crisis of crime. All right, issue 2, and digressing wildly, what is the state of your union? Your new babe?
Never mind.
And your new association with NAMBLA, eh?
NAMBLA, the man-boy love thing?
No, not NAMBLA. NAMGLA. GLA, the North American Man-Girl Love Association. You know, I never met a candy striper I didn't like. Just kidding, Donna. Actually, I hope it continues to go well for both of you. Nothing like young love, you know. Let me move on.
Good.
While I still can. Issue 3, William Perry, Pentagon Putz. Or from Bobby Ray to Billy P. Ain't Up. Jesus, another Carter survivor? Well, what do you suppose Bubber is trying to do? Prove that recycling works? Memo, president to president. Hello, Goober? The Carter administration, in case you hadn't noticed, failed. He lost, remember? We've been through all that, and frankly, we'd like to avoid going through it again. Jesus, about the only Carter refugees this pantload hasn't hired are Amy and Rosalind. And issue 4, speaking of recycling projects, John Madden, the $32 million proof that fat bias is a fallacy, or the whale that ate Fox. Football on the Fox network. There is no justice, J.D. I, for example, certainly know as much about the game as Madden, and yet they give this landfill that much money. What did he ever do except annoy entire time zones with that sing-song, never-shut-up whine and sweat gravy on poor old Pat Summerall? I'm telling you, if there's a God, they'll be doing a Rams game there when about an 8.7 comes rolling along. You know what I'm saying? Jesus, what a beast. Harsh assessment through the pig's eye today, J.D., but a valid one from a man with impeccable credentials as a strategist, the former president of the United States. Say, you don't suppose Michael Jackson ever got my son-in-law David Eisenhower in a hot tub, do you?
No.
Just my luck, probably not.
12 minutes till 7 here in the yard. And on K-Big in Denver. Hey, man, T-shirt orders. You know where the T-shirts, where lots of T-shirt orders are coming in for Fred at 1-800-272-1957? Colorado. All over Colorado, all over Ohio, and out of Virginia and Maryland. So call Fred and get that new denim work shirt, too, this morning. 1-800-272-1957. You know what I'm saying? Let me talk to you for a minute. John, here's him, and that's John Cardinal O'Connor with the New York Lotto numbers. Good morning, Cardinal O'Connor.
Good morning, God, man. The winning numbers in the New York State Lottery is as follows.
Now, see, this is what we want, Joe.
The daily number. Yeah. Just say this, I'm Mr. Lamar.
What's the number?
Congratulations on yet another smooth speech. A hearty well done to our man in the White House. President, what a few be Jesus. That
will be fine.
The union was fine until the likes of Fatso came along, be Jesus. Cold Clinton wants to get tough on crime. You can start by locking up Hillary Clinton, be Jesus. And throw Butch Reno out of the Attorney General's office where a man belongs, I tell you that.
That will be fine.
Drunken old hag with a dubious sexual orientation, be Jesus. Make it sick. The daily number.
What is that?
163.
Okay.
So you're going on Letterman, eh, Mr. Lamar?
Well, yes.
Are they having a Betty Davis lookalike contest?
A Betty Davis lookalike contest?
Win phone number. Anyway, Mr. Lamar, where are the blacks in Clinton's cabinet?
Well, there's Ron Brown.
I don't mean some Brian Gumbalorio sellout type of Jesus. I mean some big, tough, black as the ace of spades, Wesley Snipes looking brother of Jesus.
I don't know. Shut up.
No justice, no peace, eh, Mr. Lamar, I tell you that.
I'm fine.
The Big Ten numbers, the win phone number.
Well, what is it?
7201.
All right.
Well, first he dropped these knickers from Michael Jackson.
Uh-oh.
Now the lad's dropping the lawsuit, Jesus. And wealthy Michael and Lester will beat the rap. I think this has a bad message to people like yourself, eh, Mr. Lamar, Jesus.
I don't think it does apply to me at all.
On the positive side, the Menendez deadlock will hopefully encourage your daughters into action, Jesus. I tell you that. The Big Ten numbers is as follows.
What are they?
The only thing Christ-like about you, Mr. Lamar, is that you were born about 2,000 years ago. Just let me say that. The Big Ten numbers is as follows. 4, 5, 7, 11, 12, 14, 15, 20, 26, 30, 34, 38, 40, 41, 57, 60, 61, 62, 64, 71.
Just as my friend Kinky Friedman, I see many parallels in the life of Jesus in my life. That's the only point I made. Fine. So we're still looking for them. Well, okay.
What would you
you plugging Pete Hamill left and right, hey, Mr. Lamar?
Well, I happen to like Mr. Hamill.
Pete's beard tickling your thighs again, if you know what I mean,
Good. That'll be enough.
Which doesn't belong in why?
Okay, which doesn't belong?
Which doesn't belong in why? A. Frank Rich.
Frank Rich.
D. Annie Quinlan.
B. Annie Quinlan.
C. Pete Hamill. Which doesn't belong in why?
Well, I would say Anna Quinlan.
Wrong, you two-legged bag of pussy.
Oh, God.
Well, I, Mr. Lamar, sucks up shamelessly to all three of these self-anointed modern-day Socrates. The answer is A. Frank Rich doesn't belong because, unlike the other two, Frank Rich is not a drunk, be Jesus.
That won't be fun.
Lizzie slapping around the old lady to come up with something.
Shut up.
Nobody wants to play rhythm guitar behind Jesus.
Everybody wants to be the lead singer in the band.
Imus in the morning. That newspaper babe.
Anna Quinlan? She sucks.
She does not. You're just saying that because you're too stupid to understand her.
I got news for you. Imus doesn't understand her either. The only reason he talks to her is because she won that prize.
Pulitzer Prize.
Call this a prize.
Stop making fun of her.
What, you like have a crush on her or something? Whoa, Anna Quinlan gives you a Woodrow.
She does not. Stop it, or I'll have to kick your butt.
You know, you'll have to fight Imus for her.
That's easy. I'll just punch him in his other lung.
Yeah, you could like sneeze and knock him down.
Yeah. Cool.
I saw a bumper sticker once that said, if you love something, let it go. If it comes back, it is yours forever. If it doesn't,
hunt it down and kill it.
Go for it, dude. Claim your woman. I'm Imus in the morning. I got a letter from Malcolm.
Thank you.
It was a harrowing ride. Yes, it was. Sliding all up and down 3rd Avenue there in Manhattan on the limo. Well,
how come the heat's not on in this damn car?
So, what? I got a That's terrific, says the Gilbert. But you can't, I can't suck him into anything, can I?
Oh, he's too quick. He ain't having it.
No, he's not having me sucking him into the Ted Kennedy, Chris Dodd dropping the babes off.
No way.
So he doesn't miss anything. No, I'm not suggesting that I'm going to quit intellectually to trip up Bob Dole, but at all. I know they do work late. I love him now. Don't you? Yes. I'd vote for him in a heartbeat. I'd quit my job to vote for him. I would. Be out on the husking. I mean, I like Bill Clinton, too, but I mean, if Bob Dole runs against him, he's history. Particularly when he's jerking me around now, so I don't need that. That's a big mistake he's making.
Huge. Major.
That's a huge mistake because by '96 we'll be on in every major city and perhaps every city in this country. What could he conceivably be thinking? So what do you think? What do you think kind of advices he gets? Morning.
Imus in the morning.
Boys. Idiot. Just an idiot. Song. Now stop it. Just stop everything. Stop everything. We have a disaster on our hands here. But we're going to get through it, aren't we? No, we're not. Let everything queue up and then do it again. Okay. Do we have Jerry Zach's home phone number?
We have one, but it's apparently been disconnected. The play's not doing so well.
Jesus. I mean, how badly could laughter on the 23rd floor be doing? Jerry Zach's a director of, a lot of things.
20 Sports.
Everybody knows what. Knicks beat the Suns. Good morning. This is Mike Braden with Sports. Knicks win at the Garden last night, 98-96. Coach Pat Riley felt this tested the heart and character of his team.
Just a great game, great effort, great hard game.
Patrick Ewing felt the same way. Ewing played well. Don't look at me, goddammit, when I'm talking to you. Okay, just do your sportscast. Can you do that? Patrick Ewing scored 24 points. Charles Smith led them with 25. Nets lose to the Blazers in Portland, 122. I love Bernie's laugh, don't you?
Sports Radio 66 WFAN.
Arctic Blast. Racing at Aqueduct canceled again because of the weather. Idiot. Good morning. This is Mike Braden with Sports. Too cold and wet for the horsies, so no action at the Big A today. What are the degenerates doing a day like today? Baby, how are you?
Woody, with
knucklehead? I don't understand you.
Well,
First you put that idiot in the White House. Then you want to put Florio in the State House in New Jersey. And now you want to put what are you going to do? Go city by city and ruin this country?
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning.
I don't know. I mean, I had a major lung operation.
Well, you're going to need a major brain operation.
Imus in the morning. Sports Radio 66 WFAN.
McDonald's. Hi, McDonald's hamburgers?
Yes, it is.
This is Sergeant Kirtland of the Air National Guard, and I'd like to get 1,200 hamburgers.
12? Pardon me, sir?
1,200 hamburgers, what we'd like to get.
Just a moment. I'm going to have to ask my... could you hold on for a second?
Yeah.
Sergeant, just a moment, sir. There's a guy here...
Imus in the morning.
Andy? So, when I was talking to the president the other day, as I was chatting with Senator so-and-so the other day, when renowned award-encrusted writer, blah, 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 called me the other day, geez, is there anybody, dear listener, who more instantly makes you want to put a gun in your mouth than a name dropper? No. I wouldn't presume to speak for you, but I bet you'd agree with me, Andy Rooney, the famous 60 Minutes essayist. See what I mean? I can make myself sick. Name droppers have always occupied the lowest possible rung on the ladder of superfluous life forms. Right. But now, science seems to have identified a hitherto unknown species that's fallen off the ladder entirely. Yeah. The Donna's Imus talk show jerkus. Have you been listening to the Imus program since syndication came into play? Well, I have. Yeah. Only because I am perversely fascinated by the number of names that clatter to the floor per hour of airtime consumed. Yeah. The man is a positive genius. Remember the fellow who gained 15 minutes of distinction when he came to our attention in that Federal Express ad in which he talked at light speed? Well, that's Imus now, littering the landscape with names. So many, in fact, that you have to categorize them just to review a few. There is the politician group, Bill Clinton, Hillary. The senatorial subgroup, Al D'Amato, Bill Bradley, Joe Lieberman. All politicians whose professional lives Imus either made, saved, or permitted to continue, by the way. Then there's the spin doctoral pundit subgroup. Mary Madeline, James Carville, Paul Begala, etc., etc., etc. Followed by the utterly tedious columnist, authors, playwrights, critics, scribes subgroup. Jeff Greenfield, Pete Hamill, Jerry Zaks, Frank Rich, and on and on and on. Then to the sports figures, subgroup Riddick Bowe and Bill Parcells and Boomer Esiason and Barb Albert. You get the idea. And I haven't even mentioned the movie moguls, the megalomaniacal millionaires, musicians, men of medicine, and stop me before I drop again. Well, if you listen, you already are nauseatingly aware of what I'm talking about. They've retired the Iron Man's number in the arena of affected asses. Just a couple of concluding observations, if I may. Given his age, when he lets fly with the next numbing name, what he should say is something along the lines of, so, I was talking to Queen Nefertiti the other night. Or, given his taste in lady friends, it would be appropriate to hear him say, coming up on my program next week, the Lindbergh baby kidnappers and mother f***ing goose. That will be fine. The whole matter makes me long for the day when Imus will be making some poor sap's teeth gnash by letting him know that he'd just been chatting with a corporate giant, a celebrated entertainer, and a famous politician. And he'll be referring to Malcolm Forbes, Elvis, and Tip O'Neill. Very nice. In the meantime, if you're as sick of his stage-struck, dandified pretense as I am, get down to your local gun shop now, because you'll have to wait 5 days before you can kill yourself. James Brady, don't you know? Oh, nice. A little harsh, for me. Chuck? Check this out now.
Imus in the morning.
2020 Sports.
Everybody knows one. The great Neil Diamond belting out another hit. Good morning. This is Mike Brain with sports. What does that got to do with anything? Nothing. He's just a good singer. In the NBA, Knicks beat the Phoenix Suns 98-96 at the Garden. Forward Anthony Mason summed up the win. Knicks now get 25 points from Charles Smith as they snap their mini two-game losing streak. There it is. $800,000 a year for this moron. There it is. Jesus, God almighty.
sweet baby Jesus, coming for to carry me home.
What is going on?
God almighty, carve something else in your head, you moron.
Have you read Pete Hamill's book yet, man? I thank you for my Anna Quillen book.
I talked to Anna Quinlan yesterday. You know what she told me her favorite part of this program is? Anna Quinlan's favorite part of this program, Cardinal O'Connor.
Oh, man.
That's Anna Quinlan.
Anna. She's off the wagon.
Obviously, you know, they're going to double gator back into that vodka bottle or whatever. Not that we don't know that she was ever into vodka bottle.
No.
NFL news, Joe Montana will not be able to play in this year's...
Where's that Russian story at? How you pronounce it? You don't know what? Yeltsin? Who that? Who that is?
Not too racist, huh? Well, deal with it, America. Yeah. It's part of the program, right? So.
Now coming up, the dude in the wheelchair. I forgot his name.
Chris O'Donoghue, very fine reporter.
Why don't you go run out and cover this shooting? Oh, never mind. I'm sorry.
That'll be fine. That's enough. What's that woman's name, by the way?
Brenda Blackman. Very fine lady.
What's her name?
Brenda Blackman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's horrible. She's not an anchor. Well, you told me that off the air. You're back in the office saying it.
You're
if they
full
don't...
of crap.
Well, okay. All right. All right.
The only thing you told me off the air there was, oh, you're walking out, with your belt halfway under your ribcage there. I got cramps.
I do have cramps.
Go ahead, take care of it. Take a prune juice or something.
I'm having my period.
Oh, come on.
I'm having my period. Which reminds me, when I was married, I had 4 daughters. 2 of them I adopted and 2 I had. So there were 5 women in the house. And so there was never any time during the month that somebody wasn't crying or slamming the door. Sure. They're telling me what a no-good son of a bitch I was. And how I didn't relate to anything that was going on. I just said, bring me another glass of Chivas and please be quiet. I'm trying to watch Six-Man.
Which daughter are you? I'm a doctor of my own. I don't know.
Talking on the phone is not my speed. Don't send me no letter 'cause I can't read. Don't be long 'cause not be gone. We gon' rock and roll all night long 'cause I'm ready. I'm willing. And I'm Imus in the morning.
11 minutes now to 10 o'clock, and I'm Imus, one of Russ Salzberg here, who does the 10 to 1.
This concludes the entertainment and revenue-generating portion of your broadcast day. We now return you to the rest of your local programming schedule. An indecipherable embarrassment of broadcasting incompetence that compelled the station to subscribe to the Imus in the Morning program in the first place. The entertainment and revenue-generating portion of the broadcast day, the Imus in the Morning program, will resume tomorrow morning. Check your local listings for time and schedule. For sports scores and sports news,
I'm Mike Breen, WFAN 2020 Sports, your radio home for Super Bowl 28.
Sports Radio 66, the fan, WFAN, New York.
Hey, good morning, everybody. 10:04 here on this 26th day of January, 1994. The number, as always, 718-937-6666. I don't like where I'm sitting today, Schizzeri. They moved me to the side doing some construction or some finagling with the controls here, so they got me. I got Schizzeri to the side of me, Rodman to the side of me. I don't know who's behind me. But Knicks last night, 6 o'clock. We'll know by 10 o'clock anyway if they're champs or chumps, one way or the other. Russ Salzberg here on a fan, thanking you. My thanks to Schizzeri, Hot Rod Rodman, O.J. Simpson, Charles Smith, Susan Wallman, and of course you, the fans. Bye-bye.
I talked to Anna Quinlan yesterday. You know what she told me her favorite part of this program is? Anna Quinlan's favorite part of this program, Cardinal O'Connor.
Oh, man.
That's Anna Quinlan.
Anna. She's off the wagon.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the Morning on the Fan.
Russ Salzberg's here. Good morning, Russ.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good. What
kid, he has to wait till almost 11 o'clock to watch me.
That's when you're on.
All right, High Pockets.
You know what I like about Channel 9 is they not only let that woman come in and clean up the studio, but they'll let her anchor the newscast.
Very classy there, Ivan.
Here's my copy ad.
In the morning on the fan, Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
What's happening? This is John Minko with 2020 Sports on WFA and the home of Super Bowl 28.
Here's
Nice to have you with us on a busy Wednesday. Mike just woke up, so we'll get you going all afternoon as far as the Super Bowl stuff is concerned as we talk to you about what's going on. As you know, your telephone number, not a guest we hope today, though the show has begun to crumble as we speak. And believe it or not, it is pajamas, but here we go.
Mike and the Mad Dog, Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
Mike and with 2020 Sports on WFAN, the home of Super Bowl 28.
Sports Radio 66, WFAN, New York.
6:04 on the fan. Good evening, everybody. Ian Eagle and Ed Coleman continuing our coverage live from Super Bowl 28. Here in Atlanta, the Hyatt Regency. Take you right up until 7:40, St. John's and Boston College. Big East basketball coming up on the fan. As the hype continues here in Atlanta, and we are creeping closer and closer to the big game, just after 6:15 or so on Sunday evening out of the Georgia Dome. I was out at Buffalo. Talk to you tomorrow night. Stay tuned. St. John's basketball coming up. St. John's at BC. Thanks to Bob Gell, Brian Ferguson. We'll talk to you tomorrow night at 6.
Sports Radio 66, the fan, WFAN.
Providence, Rhode Island, where rock, well, it doesn't live here, but it has a summer home. With Scott Muni, Scotzo.
I got something to say that might cause you pain. The Beatles are reuniting, at least the three that remain. They're gonna let us down and leave us flat. And so I must implore, oh, you can't do that.
You really shouldn't sing, Scotzo.
The big news, Paul, George, Ringo back in the studio to record a new album with George Martin. An event that I gotta tell you folks, I'm looking forward to about as much as a prostate massage. Evidently, they're putting together some new material to go along with this 10-volume video collection of theirs. And I guess McCartney figured out that they could get another $20 for it if they threw in a record album. Well, let me ask you something, Paulie. Don't you have enough money? Jesus, every time somebody sings happy birthday, they send you a check. Well, you could pay off the national debt with what slipped between the cushions of your sofa for crying out loud. What the hell do you need more for? Well, just because every time you and that macrobiotic bimbo of yours pass a bean pie, you decide to release it, doesn't mean that we need something hideously unlistenable to besmirch the Beatle image.
Oh, please.
I have a lot of emotional connections to you guys. And I just don't want to go to my grave with the picture of the three of you in purple velour tuxedos like some wedding band, singing Sunrise, Sunset, and the Hokey Pokey to a room full of drunk Polacks. At first I thought they can't do it without John. Well, guess what? Thanks to Natalie Cole, they won't have to. There's got to be some reel-to-reel laying around of some crap that Lennon did in the Dakota while he was waiting for the bread to rise. And I'm sure they're planning on slapping their voices together on top of it and calling it a finished product.
Yeah.
But you know what that's going to mean, don't you?
No.
3 words. Yoko. Oh, no. Paulie made a big show at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, embracing her, burying the hatchet, which looked about as sincere as Tanya Harding sending a get-well card to Nancy Kerrigan.
Yeah.
He's looking at her thinking, you're the one who broke up the Beatles. And she's thinking, it should have been you instead of John. Don't get me wrong, I love Yoko, but with this chimp involved, it seriously increases the odds for the project to turn into some white noise, cat squeal, blackboard fingernail scraping. Are they going to give us something better than Sgt. Pepper or the White Album?
No.
They're going to be a single on there that will outdo She Loves You? No. Then leave it the alone.
Fine.
The 60s are over, and I'd prefer my mop tops without colostomy bags. Man, there's nothing worse than someone who doesn't know it's time to just walk away and let the body of work speak for itself. Somebody who doesn't know that to continue just proves the law of diminishing returns. You know what I mean, I-Man?
Scott Newton here in the Imus in the Morning program, 22 till 7. Here's my man, Delbert McClellan. That's Anna Quinlan. Anna. She's off the wagon.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the Morning.
Russ Salzberg's here. Good morning, Russ.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good. What are you telling the kid he has to wait till almost 11 o'clock to watch me?
That's when you're on.
All right, High Pockets.
You know what I like about Channel 9 is they not only let that woman come in and clean up the studio, but they let her anchor the news show too.
Very classy there, I-Man.
Where's my copycat?
18 till 7 here on the East Coast.
Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
He'll be
They never have to work. Just travel around from town to town. Wherever evil lurks. Cross the Holy Land with rotted hand and sandals on my feet. But I'll stop a while and I'll share a smile with everyone I meet. Imus in the morning.
Hey, Bennett, check it out. Michael Jackson's on the news.
very good. Ed, what did you think of the president last night?
Well, I think it was very long. I mean, he set a new record, I think, for length.
It was over an hour, wasn't it?
I lost track. I was working on mine, but...
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the Morning.
I was talking with Senator Chris Dodd earlier this morning. He was actually there for the speech last night.
Right, I saw him. He looked good.
Yeah.
He stayed awake.
I asked you. I asked him, I said, how come you and Kennedy are never on any of these Sunday morning talk shows? And he said, well, we're just getting in about that time.
Well, they can do it on the way home.
Yeah, they could drop her off and then stop by and talk to Tim Russert.
Imus in the morning. Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
Well, he's not a chump. Telling me that the players want to play. No, they don't want to play. No, they voted again.
No, the players obviously would not want to play, but you have to play. We get 3 or 4 months off in the summertime. We play on Christmas Day, which we would not want to do. We play on all kinds of days, and we have to play on that day also.
That's basically what Checker said. Yeah, well, never mind. Sorry, Dave. Does Dave travel with the team?
Sometimes. It depends. Whenever the team sees the president on the road, we get nervous because that means someone's going to get traded. So.
Ernie Grunfeld, he's the what now?
He's the general manager.
Well, he doesn't seem like...
Magic touch. It makes me glow so much. It casts the spell. It rings a bell. The magic touch. Imus in the morning.
what's happening. I'm John Closey with 2020 Sports on WFAN, the home of Super Bowl 28.
In New York.
Keep it going here in Atlanta. Ed Coleman, Iron Eagle with you till 10 o'clock tonight. We got a big 4-hour show coming your way and a lot of guests popping on here to take us through the evening. We'll try to keep things going. Mike and Chris had a great show today, and we'll continue that here in Atlanta. It is day 4 for us in Atlanta. I heard you say before, Ian, play this game. Yeah, I felt like that yesterday, actually.
Oh, you got that sense yesterday?
Please.
No, this was the first time today out of little NHL hockey coming up here on the fin. I was about to say Stanley Cup hockey. I'm getting a little ahead of myself with the Rangers. Now, come on. On Sunday, the Dallas Cowboys, the Buffalo Bills, Super Bowl 28.
Sports Radio 66. The Fan, WFAN.
Sports on WFAN, the home of Super Bowl 28. On the Fan, hour number 2 is underway. Iron Eagle, Ed Coleman taking you until 10 o'clock. Rangers and the Kings coming up then, joined right now by ESPN's Chris Mortensen, also the sporting news, and he's staying right here at home, an Atlanta guy. And this isn't bad. You have the Super Bowl in your own backyard. Don't even sell us on the idea that Buffalo can win this football game. We shall see. John Closey has the update at 8. Iron Eagle, Ed Coleman joining on the other side, live from Atlanta. Stay tuned.
Sports Radio 66. The Fan, WFAN.
What's happening? I'm John Closey with 2020 Sports on WFAN, the home of Super Bowl 28.
New York.
Sports Radio 66. The Fan, WFAN.
8:06 on the Fan. Ed Coleman, Iron Eagle with you in Atlanta. Site of Super Bowl 28 coming up on a Sunday with the Cowboys and the Bills. And it's good to see this guy down here. Ex-Bills line coach.
Yeah, I know why you want to see me down here. Last time you saw me up close, you kicked my ass, 2019. I know what you... I got me in trouble with my head coach, Polyester Marv. I mean, come on, man.
No, you got in trouble. What's on WFAN, the home of Super Bowl 28.
Sports Radio 66. The Fan, WFAN.
What do you do? I have my own business with a guy named Carville, and he and I are political advisors to the president. Well, so that's the thing, Imus. Being James Carville's partner is a little bit like being Dolly Parton's feet.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning.
Speaking of Mr. Carville, were you at his, did you make that wedding?
I was at his wedding. It was an incredible thing. Mary is a really beautiful woman, and James is my partner. We've been in business 10 years, but let's face it, he is butt ugly. And finally, I asked her, I had a couple of glasses of champagne, and I finally said, Mary, I just don't get it. How did you marry this guy? What do you see in him? And she said, look, I like men tall and skinny and ugly and mean, and Alan Simpson's already married.
In the morning. Sports Radio 66. WFAN.
Hey, Beavis, check it out. It's the Super Bowl.
Who's playing?
I don't know. Some team with like a star on their helmet and another team with like a dog or something.
Is that how you tell them apart, the helmets?
Nah. The big steroid-eating star dudes are from like Dallas, California, and the other dudes, really suck.
Yeah.
Their suckness knows no bounds.
Well, how come they're in the Super Bowl then?
I guess because they need somebody to lose. Because, like, they really suck.
Where's the cheerleaders?
Yeah, where's those chicks with the little Roy Rogers hats?
Look, there they are.
Whoa, those babes are hot.
I wish I was a big steroid-eating football dude, so, like, cheerleader chicks would, like, let me look up their skirts so I could see their line of scrimmage.
Yeah, huddle up. Down and out on my goalpost, baby.
Fine. Do it again. Do it again. Harder. Harder.
Hey, cowgirl cheerleader chicks. Check it out. Beavis and me have helmets, too.
Yeah.
Imus in the Morning, 2020 Sports.
Game is tied at 101. 12 seconds left in the game. Starks on the left wing. Now 10 seconds remaining. Down to 7 seconds. Harper dribbles on the right side. Down low to Ewing. 4 seconds remaining. Ewing drives, pulls up, 12-footer. It's good. It's good. With 9/10 of a second remaining, Patrick Ewing is given the Knicks a 2-point lead.
And that was Mike Breen with the call getting his jollies off out in Anaheim last night as Patrick Ewing dropped in. What are you looking at me for?
I'm just looking at you. Russ Salzberg is here for Mike Breen. You know, how tall are you?
You asked me this yesterday.
I'm asking you again.
I didn't grow since yesterday.
Well,
about 5'6". How tall are you, Stretch?
I'm about 6 feet.
You're darn right.
You want to know something? You don't seem short. You seem like you because we were discussing this.
Yep.
You're a big man inside.
Yeah.
You're not like Lupica, where Lupica's like, he's a little man inside, and he is also physically a diminutive person. So
you worry about sizes a lot, huh?
Well, no, we were just discussing it. What, Bernie?
Russ has got it hanging, from my standpoint.
Well, okay. That's fine.
That's all that counts, right, Russ?
You look at those things, huh, Bernard?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I figured. All right.
When Russ is on the air here at the radio station in New York, it sounds like 2 listeners are on the air because...
Who's calling who?
We don't know who's calling who. Go ahead.
Thank you. Anyway, as I was saying, Mike Breen got his jollies off out in Anaheim last night as Patrick Ewing dropped in the final deuce of a 32-point performance to lead the Knicks past the Clippers 103-101. Patrick also pulling down 16 rebounds. I guess none of his